Today is a nice cool fall day and I thought it would be great to make a minestrone soup. So what I want to do is just a little bit of prep work and then I'll show you how it'll be all put together to make a lovely minestrone soup. And when you do this, you're going to have a potato, a good sized potato, and some celery, carrots, an onion, and zucchini. Okay, so this is a medium size zucchini. And I like to take off some of the green. Some people might prefer leaving it on, but that is just the beginning of the prep. Then with celery, and again, be careful when you put things down the sink. I do have a little bowl so that it catches it and that does not go down the drain. And don't put celery down the drain, okay? That is another no. And take and just split it down the middle. That should be a good size for your soup. And then, of course, you'd make it into smaller pieces. The next thing is a carrot. And make sure you peel it. Get that all done. And be careful on this because you have to do it in quarters. I like using this little serrated knife. You can also use a chef's knife, but this seems to work well for me, like so. And then, of course, we'll cut it up into small chunks. That's that. And the final thing would be the onion. And I always remember how my mom left the bottom base on and then just cut little pieces and then took the onion and put it to the side, or like I do it on the top both ways first and then to the side. And as you can see, it's starting to spill out and you have nice small pieces of onion. And now we're ready to complete the prep work and start with the directions. And the first thing is to add a couple of tablespoons of olive oil to a pot. And I have it on a medium heat and let it warm up. And in a few minutes, I'll add the veggies. In the meantime, I just want to show the viewers what it looks like to chop about between 1/4 and 1/2 inch would be fine for the carrots. And then the same for the celery. Like so. And the zucchini, if it's cut in half, you have 3 pieces that you can work with to make them smaller, like so. And then you can just cut away. And the last would be the potatoes. And take a potato, slice it about 1/2 inch in thickness, go right down, get at least about 4 slivers, and do the same thing, cut it like so. So there you have the diced vegetables. And I'm going to go check on the olive oil. It should be ready. And now what I do is add potatoes, onions, carrots, celery, and string beans, and I cut them up a little bit so that they'll cook easily. And then we have the cubed zucchini, and now I stir it around and let it cook until it's softened. And then we'll get back to adding the liquids. Okay, now you see that the vegetables are beginning to soften. So I'm going to add the cannellini beans that have been drained and crushed tomatoes, 28 ounces. And always have a spatula on hand to get the very last drop out of the bowl. What I also do is I take and swish some water around the can and get a little bit more juice out. And the last liquid would be the broth. I use a vegetable broth, and you get a large cardboard canister or container, and it'll be 4 cups. That's exactly what you need. Now the thing that we need to add also are the beautiful seasonings, and I have everything in here from basil to oregano, Italian seasoning, parsley, and minced garlic. So that is the very last thing that goes in, and stir it around and let it simmer for about 15 minutes, and then we'll add the little macaronis. The mix is very good, and now is when I add the little shells, and they will be cooking now just like the directions on the box for about 10 to 14 minutes. And what I like to do is cover it, and it should come out nice and tender. Now, while that's cooking, I now do more preparations. The first thing I need to do is prepare the Parmesan cheese for both the topping on the soup as well as on the lovely garlic bread. So you see, we have little shreds, longer shreds, and those will be put to good use shortly. Now what I'm going to do is prepare a lovely buttery spread using softened margarine or a softened buttery spread. And then I'm going to take a little garlic powder and fresh minced garlic, some olive oil, and parsley. Mix it all together, and then we'll start the spreading process. There. Make sure you really go underneath and have it completely blended. Now, take your bread with a nice spreader and give it a good dousing of this wonderful mix. And then the very last thing that you put on this is the Parmesan cheese. And because this is just such a small amount of bread, I use my toaster oven and I put it on the bake setting, 400 degrees, and then I put it on the broil setting. So here we have lovely, fresh Parmesan cheese, and then I'll put it onto a little bake tray and pop it in the toaster oven. And that'll be for around 10 minutes on bake and then on broil. The garlic bread is ready. And see how it's just so lightly singed on the edges, and everything else melted in. Now, I'm going to sit down and show you what a lovely meal has been prepared. Let's take and scoop a few ladles of the minestrone. And if you find it's a little thick, just add a little water. You've got enough seasoning to cover it all. And that should be enough. So now I'll take some of the fresh Parmesan cheese, add it to the minestrone, take a piece of beautiful garlic bread, and say to you, buon appetito.